In the first part of this video, we had configured an MB client block to read data from a Modbus server for the temperature variables in our Modbus address list. And according to its assigned addresses, which is within the range 30005 to 30070, recall that an MB client can read a max length of 1 to 125. The first MB client block has a length of 70, which holds the address between 3001 to 3007. In this part, we will add an extra MB client block to read the pressure variables within the Modbus. The second block address will begin from 30171 and will end in 30174. This means we have 4 addresses as the address length. Now we will define the MB client pointer variable, which will be 4 variables in a struct data type. Here I added the newly created struct variable, which will represent the pointer to the Modbus addresses. The connect parameter will remain the same since we are working with the same Modbus server. Next step is to add a new MB client block for the write address. In this case, the MB mode will be assigned a value of 1 because we want to write to the Modbus server. The variable we are dealing with is a Boolean variable, which is defined as coil. Here we are writing to a single variable. This means we have the MB data length to be 1, and in this case our MB data address parameter will be the address we want to write to, which is 00005. Once again, I will define the pointer address in the data block for this MB client write block. Here we have just one variable. Now we can proceed to simulate the 3 MB client blocks. As we see, we are able to read data from the MOD-RSeam application. I will change the data read in temperature 5 variable. Let's check the pressure reading variables, which is the pointer to the second MB client. I will change the value in the MOD-RSeam application to see that the value is read successfully in the data block. We see that the value for pressure variable 1 is read in the pointer address of the second MB client block. The same for pressure variable 3, as we will see. Now we will check for the write MB client block. I will change the address category to coil. As we see, upon toggling, we are able to write to the server application. So far, we have successfully been able to read and write using the MB client. It is possible that you encounter some errors. Here are some errors that can occur when reading from the Modbus server using MB client block. 1. When the length of the MV data length parameter does not match with the MV data pointer parameter. I will be adjusting the length of the address we are supposed to point to. This will result to an error, because the data block pointer we use has 70 variables it should be pointing to. However, we assign 68 as the length of the variables. This will therefore result to an error. Here, I have 70 variables pointing to the Modbus addresses of the MB client block. Now I adjusted the length of the address we are supposed to point to. I will try writing to the data block, and we see that due to the mismatch between the MB data length and the pointer, we wouldn't receive the data. As we see, the data is not received. Now we can correct this to get the data being sent from the Modbus server. Two, note that the address we read is a word data type that is 16 bits. This is usually provided in the Modbus server data you want to read from, or write to, like we have in the table. We could as well have variables with double word data type, which are 32 bits addresses. You need to have the correct data length in order to read or write to the block using MB client. I will adjust the second block from word data type address to a double word data type. Notice the offset contains 4 byte equals 32 bits for double word, compared to word data type, which is 2 byte. Now we have to assign the correct MB data length. Previously, the data length was 4 for 16-bit word data type. Now we will assign 8 as the data length. I do this by counting the addresses equals 4 and multiply by 2, which is equals 8. Let's see if the address length works well. We see we are able to retrieve data from the Modbus server, which is the ModRScene application, with the variable being a double word data type instead of a word data type, by correctly having the right pointer address and MB data length. Once again, we see the data being read via the two MB client blocks pointers coming from the Modbus server and being written to the Modbus server through the right MB client pointer address. Please do like and subscribe, and do kindly leave a comment behind as you find this video helpful. This will motivate me to make more videos. Thank you, and good success.